harass me about fucking Tory. That's not what this is about. Even if I was, I fucked this like once, maybe twice.
And we are back, Thank you for watching this video, y'all. Go ahead and hit that like button as we get into some Megan Thee Stallion news. Now, y'all may have heard about this, but Megan Thee Stallion and her attorney they've put the world on notice. If you spread false news about Megan Thee Stallion, they may come after you, y'all. Now, they believe that a particular blogger named Milagro has been spreading false rumors, lies, etc. about Megan, and a lawsuit just hit, taking Milagro to task. What we're going to have here is a full reading of the lawsuit, and you can be the judge. Now, one of the things that comes into play, one of the questions is freedom of speech. You've had people like DJ Academics say Megan shouldn't go at the bloggers. But then you have Megan, who wants to protect her reputation, who wants to push back on what she perceives as bullying, etc. You be the judge. And remember, with this full reading, these are AI voices. I think we did a pretty good job, though. I think you're going to be entertained. Then at the end of this video, we're going to talk about recent revelations that have come out where Megan, she admits that she did not tell the truth about her relationship with Tory. Now, that's going to be at the end of the video after the reading of the lawsuit against Milagro. I'd like to ask y'all, do you think that these revelations, that this admission, will this have any effect on the lawsuit itself? Will it make her seem less credible? Or do you think that the facts of the matter will stand on their own and that this lawsuit will have merit regardless if Megan had previously said things that aren't quite true about her relationship with Tory? Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're going to jump right into a full reading of this lawsuit. Let's get into it.
Plaintiff Megan Pete hereby files this action hereinafter. The complaint against Milagro Elizabeth Cooper, defendant. Miss Pete alleges the following facts upon her own knowledge and upon information and belief. Nature of the action. 1. For years, defendant Cooper acted and continues to act on behalf of Daystar Peterson, also known as Tory Lanez, as an online rumor mill churning out falsehoods about Miss Pete to her tens of thousands of social media followers. Since Mr. Peterson's 2020 indictment for felony assault with a deadly weapon after shooting Miss Pete, to his later conviction in December 2022, the trial, up through today, defendant Cooper performed Mr. Peterson's public bidding to denigrate, belittle, insult, and spread false statements about Miss Pete on her online social media platforms for no other reason than to bully, harass, and punish Miss Pete for Mr. Peterson's conviction and to tarnish her reputation, causing emotional distress. 2. The lengths to which defendant Cooper goes to harass Miss Pete knows no bounds. For example, she has gone so far as to share a deep-fake pornographic video of Miss Pete. In June 2024, defendant Cooper encouraged her 27,000 X followers to view an X post by Bimbella that shared a doctored, artificially created video of Miss Pete purportedly engaged in sexual acts without Miss Pete's knowledge or consent. After defendant's conduct led to a firestorm of negative reaction from others, defendant doubled down in a YouTube video on June 9, 2024, claiming Miss Pete was a professional victim and denying any wrongdoing. But defendant is wrong. Her conduct was an unlawful promotion of an altered sexual depiction and caused Miss Pete severe emotional distress and reputational harm. 3. In another instance on September 2, 2024, defendant Cooper accused Miss Pete of having a severe drinking problem who needs to spend more time in a relationship with herself and her therapist, and maybe AA. Defendant has no personal relationship with Miss Pete and had no basis to make such outlandish and false claims. 4. In yet another instance on July 30th, 2024, defendant Cooper went so far as to cast doubt on Miss Pete's mental status, asking her followers if Miss Pete has a guardian or no, and whether Miss Pete has ever been deemed like legally retarded. 5. Defendant's low blows did not stop there. Defendant consistently resorted to name-calling Miss Pete, characterizing her as an angry black woman and a lying-ass hoe during her online live streams. 6. Additionally, in or around June 29, 2024, defendant tried to pull information on Miss Pete's father in an attempt to publish private information about her family and cause damage to Miss Pete's reputation. 7. Miss Pete has repeatedly tried to stop defendant Cooper's misconduct and asked what it would take to stop being posted on defendant's platforms. In response, defendant provided the snide advice that Miss Pete should just get over it or go away. 7. Miss Pete has repeatedly tried to stop defendant Cooper's misconduct and asked what it would take to stop being posted on defendant's platforms. In response, defendant provided the snide advice that Miss Pete should just get over it or go away. 8. Defendant Cooper also made numerous false statements about Miss Pete regarding Mr. Peterson in the trial. Defendant's conspiratorial relationship with Mr. Peterson is troubling. Defendant acts as a paid surrogate used to spread Mr. Peterson's lies about Miss Pete. 9. For example, on October 27, 2024, defendant Cooper falsely claimed that the firearm Mr. Peterson used to shoot Miss Pete was not produced during the trial because it was missing. That is not the case. The firearm remains in the custody of the Los Angeles Police Department. Defendant Cooper could have easily verified this information, but instead chose to ignore it and spread lies about the integrity of the trial and related investigation. 10. Additionally, defendant Cooper spread the false rumor that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, even after a unanimous jury of Mr. Peterson's peers decided otherwise. For instance, on October 28, 2024, defendant Cooper posted a video on her X account directed at Miss Pete and asked, "Can you even prove that you was shot?" The state did prove that fact, and Mr. Peterson is currently serving a 10-year sentence for it. 11. In May 2022, defendant posted an image of a Los Angeles Police Department report from Mr. Peterson's arrest, stating that the first doctor to see Miss Pete confirmed laceration due to stepping on glass, not a firearm wound. However, the information from the police report was recorded before bullet fragments were discovered in Miss Pete's feet during surgery, which completely debunked defendant's post. That did not stop bloggers from picking up on defendant's post and spreading the misinformation. 12. Defendant also attended the trial and live-streamed her falsehoods during hearings. Defendant's posts consistently spread misinformation challenging the stories of witnesses and their credibility while sharing their names online, amounting to witness intimidation. 13. During the trial, defendant posted the following tweets. 14. More recently, after posting about a lawsuit a former videographer filed against Miss Pete in April 2024 and Miss Pete's motions to dismiss, defendant also falsely claimed that Miss Pete was caught trying to deceive the courts again, referencing her testimony in the trial. 15. Enough is enough. Miss Pete, a victim of violent crime and champion of women's rights to her millions of fans worldwide, will no longer stand for defendant's campaign of harassment. She brings this complaint for damages and equitable relief to end defendant Cooper's vendetta against her. Section 2, the parties, and Section 3, jurisdiction and venue, omitted. 4. Factual allegations. A. Defendant is a malicious actor that operates social media accounts that spread false and harassing content. 21. Defendant Cooper is a well-known online social media grifter who traffics in false and sensationalist narratives. 22. Defendant controls and operates an X, formerly Twitter, account under the screen name at MobsWorld, Instagram and TikTok accounts under the username at Milagograms, and a YouTube account under the screen name at Mob Radio, collectively the social media accounts. Defendant has the power to determine the subject matter and specific content that is published on her social media accounts and to remove or refrain from publishing content if she chooses. Defendant is the sole writer and/or editor of every post on her social media accounts. 23. On information and belief, defendant Cooper deployed and continues to deploy fake bot accounts on her social media accounts to attack any social media users who defend Miss Pete or criticize defendant's characterizations of Miss Pete. B. Defendant engaged in a years-long campaign of harassment against Miss Pete, 24. Throughout Mr. Peterson's trial and through today, defendant Cooper has engaged in a campaign of harassment on behalf of Mr. Peterson to spread false and harassing messages about Miss Pete on her social media accounts based on her close relationship with Mr. Peterson and his father. 25. In June 2024, a deepfake video purporting to show an artificially created version of Miss Pete engaging in sexually explicit acts circulated on the internet, the deepfake video. 26. It is unknown who created the deepfake video. Miss Pete had no knowledge of or involvement in the creation or distribution of the deepfake video, nor did she consent to or authorize the creation or distribution of the deepfake video. 27. On or about June 8, 2024, defendant Cooper published on her X account a post that encouraged her followers to watch the deepfake video. As reported by news publication Uproxx, Milagro encouraged users to check the deepfake video out. Numerous individuals followed her advice and accessed the video from defendant Cooper's X page. 28. On June 9, 2024, defendant Cooper published a video on her YouTube account that addressed her X post related to the deepfake video. 29. In the YouTube post, defendant shared an image of Miss Pete over a news chyron that questioned whether Miss Pete is a professional victim. A true and correct copy of the screenshot of the image is below. 30. Defendant then shared a screenshot of an X post dated June 8th, 2024 that directed her followers to go to my likes. A true and correct copy of the screenshot of the image is below. 31. Defendant's likes page included a post that promoted, transmitted, posted, and/or shared a publication of the deepfake video, and thus provided her followers access to the deepfake video. 32. Defendant Cooper affirmed this in her YouTube post. She stated that she told whoever follows me on social media to go to my likes to see what it is that we're discussing, which confirmed that she encouraged her followers to watch the deepfake video. 33. Most recently, on October 27, 2024, Defendant Cooper made the false and outlandish claim that the firearm Mr. Peterson used to shoot Miss Pete had gone missing. Defendant Cooper tweeted, "Didn't I tell y'all that the gun was never presented in court and that ain't make no damn sense? They gave the serial number and breezed past it. Like, first off, whose is it? Origin point, please." 34. Defendant Cooper's statements recklessly disregarded the truth and suggested that the firearm was never presented in court because it had allegedly disappeared. It has not. The firearm remains in the custody of the Los Angeles Police Department. It is standard procedure in California criminal cases to show an image of the firearm in question rather than present the firearm in court. Defendant Cooper could have easily verified this information but chose to ignore it and instead promulgated lies about the integrity of the trial and related investigation. 35. On October 28, 2024, notwithstanding that a jury of Mr. Peterson's peers found him guilty of shooting Miss Pete, in December 2022, Defendant Cooper reposted a video of herself where she discussed the trial on her X account. In the video, Defendant Cooper asks Miss Pete, "Can you even prove that you was shot?" 36. On October 5th, 2024, Defendant Cooper posted on her X account, "Milagro, stop talking about the case. We've moved on. Every time they lie, I'ma make y'all cry." The they Defendant Cooper referred to as Miss Pete and her supporters. Defendant Cooper also commented in a follow-up post, "And if y'all believe her why is, who shot Megan?" A question that's being posed, "Y'all so timid, speak up." 37. Defendant Cooper also reposted an online petition on September 15th, 2024, that encouraged her followers to sign the petition to free Mr. Peterson from prison, citing exculpatory evidence, when there is none. 38. On September 2nd, 2024, Defendant Cooper reposted a video in which a talk show host stated, "Megan allegedly still has a severe drinking problem. From what I've heard, I think she needs to spend more time in a relationship with herself and her therapist, and maybe AA." 39. Defendant Cooper's obsessive posts about Miss Pete continued in August 2024, when she posted a tweet asking if Megan Thee Stallion was caught trying to deceive the courts again. 40. Defendant continued to spew false statements and narratives about Miss Pete. On July 30th, 2024, Defendant Cooper posted a podcast-style video on X in which she states, "What is Megan's mental status? Does she have a guardian or not? Has she been listed as a capable person? Has she ever been deemed like legally retarded? Like anything of the nature? Anything of the sort?" 41. On December 24th, 2023, Defendant Cooper posted the following statement on X. 42. On June 22nd, 2023, X user account @HolidayHolidayK shared audio of Defendant Cooper calling Miss Pete a lying-ass hoe and claiming that Miss Pete ruined Tory Lanez's life. Defendant Cooper liked the post. 43. Even Defendant Cooper's former friend King Noir exposed her for working alongside Mr. Peterson to smear Miss Pete's reputation. King Noir also noted that Defendant Cooper has a disdain for Megan, and that she talks to Tory's daddy in an effort to leak information to the press that comes from Mr. Peterson himself. 44. Another example of Defendant Cooper's reckless disregard for the truth is a May 2022 post on her X account, when Defendant Cooper posted an image of a Los Angeles Police Department report from Mr. Peterson's arrest stating that the first doctor to see Miss Pete confirmed laceration due to stepping on glass, not a firearm wound. 45. However, the information from the police report was recorded before bullet fragments were discovered in Miss Pete's feet during surgery, which completely debunked Defendant's post. 46. Nonetheless, bloggers and podcasters like DJ Academics presented Defendant's post alongside conspiracy theories that Miss Pete was never shot. Rather than retract the false story, Defendant doubled down to NBC News stating, "Everything is not going to be something that was intended to be a factual statement. It might have a comedic effect." 47. Defendant Cooper also doubled down on her falsehoods throughout the trial. Indeed, she traveled from Houston, Texas to Los Angeles to attend the court proceedings and live-streamed her skewed take on the criminal proceedings daily to her online followers. Defendant Cooper consistently denigrated witnesses called by the state, including in the below examples of defendant's posts. 48. Defendant intended these tweets to intimidate Miss Pete and any witness that called on behalf of the state. For example, on her December 13th, 2022 Instagram live session, Defendant Cooper called Miss Pete an angry black woman because she supposedly believed Miss Pete had an attitude during her testimony. Miss Pete had no attitude. Instead, Miss Pete's testimony was extraordinarily difficult for her, as she had to recount the traumatizing events that led to the incident. 49. Defendant Cooper continued to spew false statements about Miss Pete and other witnesses at trial, including in the below examples of defendant's posts. 50. Defendant's disparaging remarks had and continue to have a negative effect on plaintiff's mental and emotional state. Defendant's conduct caused and continues to cause significant personal and economic harm to Miss Pete. It injured her reputation and standing as a professional musician. It caused severe mental and emotional harm. It caused economic harm in plaintiff's efforts to remove the various bots defendant enlists to attach plaintiff's supporters. In sum, plaintiff's damages exceed $75,000 exclusive of interest and costs in an amount to be determined at trial.
So here's a video that's going around right now of Megan and Tory during the glory years, I guess. And then another video following up of, well, what happened when she kind of admitted that they had a fling. So let me know, what do y'all think? Is this going to hurt her credibility, or is it like, hey, this doesn't matter? The facts of this case against Milagro are separate, and this case should go forward regardless of what she said at other times. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Yes, bitch, I lied to Gayle King, bitch. First of all, I didn't know that bitch was even gonna ask me about that shit. Bitch, I always want to talk about this shooting. Why'd you ask me about fucking Tory? That's not what this is about. Even if I was, I fucked this like once, maybe twice on a drunk night. Bitch, you kept catching me out of my fucking mind.